Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Earwax. It's Colin, and today we're going to be doing a review of the brand new album from Santa Cruz crossover thrash hardcore band Drain, Is Your Friend. Now, this is the third full-length LP from, again, Santa Cruz-based hardcore crossover thrash band Drain, who has been going pretty strong for about the past decade or so. This is a band that I only just got into about a year ago. I actually got into them because of the Warped Tour lineup. They were like one of the first bands that was announced, and on the like Warped Tour subreddit, a lot of people were super hyped, saying they were like the heaviest band that had been announced so far. So I checked them out on Spotify. I specifically listened to their last album in Living Proof, and I absolutely loved it. They were one of the bands that I was most excited to see at Warped Tour this year, and quite honestly, they were one of my favorite acts of the entire weekend. Now, they did tease this album back not too long after Warped Tour. I want to say it was like August, or maybe it was before that, but right around that time. And I heard a couple singles here and there, and while I liked them, there wasn't anything about them that really grabbed me quite as much as Living Proof and the first album did. But I am happy to say that now that I've gotten a chance to listen to the full album, it's absolutely killer. Now, full disclosure, I do have a pretty sweet looking Zoetrope vinyl on the way for this album, but I got a shipping notification that it's not going to be here until next Friday, and I didn't really want to wait a full week to do this review. So this is just an album review. It's not going to be vinyl and album because I didn't want to wait a full week just to do it. Plus, I have like other videos I want to do next week. But if you do like this album, there are still vinyl available, I believe, on their website. Not just like the type or the variant that I got, but there's a few other cool variants as well. All right, guys, so before we get into the track list, if you could please comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff helps out my channel a ton. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the music itself. So the album opens up with Stealing Happiness from Tomorrow. And I gotta be honest, this is probably my least favorite song on the album. It's not a bad song by any means. It definitely kicks right into like their signature blend of thrash and hardcore, but you definitely feel, at least I definitely feel like it's lacking in certain places. Specifically, the drums here seem very just sort of like straightforward and monotonous. The guitar tones here aren't incredibly interesting. And while the vocals and the verses are fairly interesting, I do think the chorus is probably the weakest on the album. There is a decent solo about 3/4 of the way through, but yeah, for the most part, it's definitely the one that I think is the weakest on the album. But it's still a fun song, and if like this is the low point, that the highs are going to be pretty good. And thankfully, the second track definitely delivers on that with Living in a Memory. The rhythm section, so the drums and the bass right off the bat are just super cool. They're super groovy. They fit super well. The vocals here are outstanding, and they even throw in some clean vocals here and there, which I do love when they do that. So this really does check most of my boxes. The guitar here feels a lot more driven, a lot more intentional. And like the harsh vocals here are just completely knocked out of the park. So again, yeah, I do really love this album. And this was the song that was like, all right, we're back, we're on the right track. And yeah, it continues to go up from here. Because after that is Scared of Everything and Nothing. This one is about as straight up hardcore as they get. Love the sort of just like steady rhythmic chugging here. The drums, not overly intricate, but really do just kind of keep the song grounded and drives it forward a little bit. There's definitely moments of this song that like could get a little repetitive if they weren't going as hard as they are, and I think it just works really well. And the vocals here are incredibly just like almost like droning and rhythmic as well, which just works for the overall vibe of the song. After that is Nothing But Love, which lyrically is one of my favorite songs on this album. Again, I don't go super deep into lyrics on these reviews, but it talks about like some of the toxicity in the scene, in like the metal scene, the hardcore scene in general, and how like we're all just here to have a good time. We're all just here to do what we love. And even if something is not specifically like your style or your favorite thing, doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it has its place. And, as someone who freely offers up their opinions on the internet. I love that message, and it's just a killer track to go along with it. And for a song that just like absolutely oozes positivity, the instrumentation's pretty fucking brutal here as well. I do absolutely love the sort of breakdown towards the end. And like it's not even really like a bridge, it's more of like a bridge, but it's like a really bass heavy bridge that kind of goes in this little outro, and it's just super killer. This song really just shows like how much fun Drain is having, which is a question that they will answer themselves on a later song. After that is Can't Be Bothered, where they pick up the tempo a little bit, get back into some of their like crossover thrash chops. Love the guitar work here, love the quicker like blast beats in the drums. They do change tempos throughout this track pretty regularly, and it just shows how like easily they can go from the more sort of like rhythmic, you know, sort of pounding, danceable hardcore with the more aggressive and in your face sort of thrash. And they do it super well here. It's got this fun sort of like hip hop outro as well, which doesn't last too long to make you annoyed, but it does feel like a nice sort of little fun intermission in the middle of the album. Not quite the same as like intermission off Living Proof, but it's, you know, it's got those vibes. After that is Loudest in the Room, which has this sort of like almost doom metal coded intro that does drop into this pretty like nasty drum part that brings you back into the brutality of like a crossover song. It's again not like, they may not be the most technically proficient band out there, but they're clearly having a great time with it, and this song does showcase how they can be really technically proficient when they want to. The bass here again might be my favorite part. The soloing here is really well done, and probably one of the best, if not the best, breakdown on the entire album. The vocals here also just hit super hard. Like the frontman's vocal stylings just work really, really well on this song. And yeah, absolute banger track. Probably another like in my top 3 song for sure. After that is Nights Like These, which is pretty similar to what we just got as far as like the blend of genres go. They kind of go effortlessly between like thrash and doom and hardcore and even like pop punk on a couple sections, and just make it seem like they all just fit super well together. Again, vocals are absolutely incredible here. Just his screams our yells are knocked out of the park again. And yeah, another incredible breakdown, but it barely lasts like 8 seconds, 10 seconds. So like that's my only complaint with this song, is I wish the breakdown was a little bit longer because it's brutal. But I do really like this song as well, and just another great addition to the track list. And yeah, then we get into the last few songs on the album, starting with Who's Having Fun, which is their obligatory, mostly clean vocal song that's just like a pop punk song with some like thrash metal soloing thrown in. Definitely something that like late era Sum 41 would be very proud of. But yeah, I love this song again. Again, they're answering the question, who's having fun? Yeah, super fun, catchy. Probably one of the better like heavy pop punk songs we've gotten out of the past like 10 years. And you know, there's even a little bit of like a harsh vocal section towards the end, so it does check all those boxes as well. And yeah, this is an absolute banger. I love this one. Super groovy, super catchy. And if you're looking for something a little bit on the less aggressive side, this is here for you. And then we end with maybe my favorite song. I don't know. It's hard to really like pick one, but this is up there for sure. In Darker Days, which is just one of the grooviest, just like nasty fucking hardcore tracks they have on the album. It just makes you want to get up and dance and pound your fist and bang your head, and it's just absolutely killer. The instrumentation here is amazing. The breakdown is incredible, and again, it really just showcases why they're one of the best like modern hardcore bands doing it right now. And then they close out with Until Next Time, which is a great little closing track. It kind of, you know, encompasses a little bit of everything we've gotten up to this point, with some crossover, with some hardcore, with some, you know, good old just fashion Drain stylings, you know, wearing their influences on their sleeve for sure. You get like some Metallica influence here, you get some Suicidal Tendencies influence here, you get, you know, any plethora of hardcore bands from like the late 90s, early 2000s, but still maintaining their style and their signature sound and their swagger and just having a blast doing it. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely an album for someone if you're into this kind of music, if you like hardcore, if you like crossover thrash, if you like all that stuff without taking yourself too seriously, go check out Drain. I don't think this album's quite as good as Living Proof. I do think Living Proof is still my favorite, Their first album is fantastic as well, and I don't know, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's like California something, but yeah, this is just a super solid addition to their discography. Can't wait to see what they're going to do next. Can't wait to see them live again. If you get a chance to see them live, I highly recommend it. They put on an amazing show. And yeah, I'm going to give this one an A minus. So, not quite there. That first track, again, that chorus just doesn't really do it for me. But outside of that, I had a great time listening to this album. I think you will too. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. And as always, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.